All right. We're finishing up the live videos. I had to take a pause while OS 10 finishes the download. The good question I had gotten was why hadn't I pre-staged the download? Because this is real time. We're learning uh, how to do this together. This is the sausage making. I'll switch to VMware Fusion, which is at the prompt for installing OS 10. This all should be hopefully straightforward, and there shouldn't be yet another video. We're not going to do any transfer. This is going to be a fresh install. We'll actually take a, I don't think we'll take a snapshot of this, but we'll clone it afterwards just to show the power of VMware Workstation over. This is actually one of the features I prefer over VirtualBox. We don't need Apple tracking our location services. This is a VM. We won't sign into Apple. We'll accept the terms and conditions. I'm the fastest terms and condition reader on live YouTube. And one of the things that I've learned from doing labs on the IT infrastructure side is document everything. I couldn't tell you how many times I misspelled my account name, but how many times I've forgotten the password to a system, to a test system, because I come back to it months later. And when we come back to it, when we create it, there's the assumption that we'll remember the username and password, but that's never the case. So again, do a great job of documenting the system, whether it's in the details of the um, VM summary or if it's somewhere else. Make sure you document the system. So you know what? That was pretty easy, straightforward install of VMware, or I'm sorry, of OS 10 within VMware Fusion. The one thing that I'm going to show pretty quickly is that we're going to shut this guy down. So we're going to go to start and shut down the computer. And once it's shut down, we're going to clone the machine. Why is this important and why are we doing it now? It's important because remember, the reason why I decided to do a virtualized environment was that if I wrote an application that blew up my OS, I wouldn't be impacting my daily driver, my main MacBook. Makes perfect sense even when you're doing IT infrastructure labs. It makes even more sense when you're building an application. Not only does it allow us to roll back for any changes, but it also gives us the ability to create additional client machines. So while we're here, I'm getting acclimated from using VMware Workstation versus VMware Fusion. So we're going to create a linked clone. And then this is a VMware Fusion speak, but basically a linked clone is our delta of our primary machine. So instead of creating copy, a one for one copy of the virtual machine, is going to basically take a snapshot and then create a delta file for a secondary machine. What does that mean? It means that instead of making a one for one copy, let's say this is a 40 gig image, instead of making another 40 gig image, is going to make a base snap of this file. Then when I boot up this next virtual machine, as opposed to having another 40 gig image, it's going to reference the original hard disk and just keep a delta of that disk moving forward, which keeps up, which saves a ton of disk space and makes creating clones a lot easier. I'm going to name this active OS dev machine, OS 10 dev machine. And this will be the machine that I actually use to do any application development. So now if I go to my virtual machine library, you'll see that I have that virtual machine that I attempted to create at the beginning that didn't basically go anywhere. I have the OS 10 base image, and let's rename this. And then we have the machine that I created as a clone, and we can power it up. And by defaults, we'll test the defaults just to make sure that I can get out to the web and prepare my environment for by installing a development environment. I think I'm going to lean towards learning Python. It's either Python or JavaScript. I'm not a huge. I think I've done some Java. JavaScript is a different language, I know, but I'm not really. I don't have the stomach for Java or JavaScript at this point. Once we confirm this, if you're hanging around, you can go ahead and look at the previous videos or end off. This is nothing sexy. We're just testing to make sure that the clone that we've created of our base OS 10 image works. And if it works, life is good. If it's not, there's probably going to be more video. So the suspense is killing me as much as it's killing you. Obviously, it's not using the SSD of this Fusion drive, and it's taking forever to boot. I'd love to hear some feedback on this sausage making video. Uh, if you guys prefer this format, I don't know if it's a matter of preferring the format versus having it as another option for watching videos. I think part of it is great. You get to see the fails, the retries, the beyond just the magic of doing videos or doing these training videos. You actually get to see the issues I encounter and how I resolve those issues. So let's try www.google.com. Yep, internet connectivity is working. Let's take a quick look at the about this Mac. I have two cores at 3.0 gigahertz, 2 gigabytes of RAM. Display is really weak. I'd love to take a look at that in the settings in a little bit. This display, I have it at 1024 by 720, 768. Storage, you'll see again simple stuff. I'm taking 10 gig of the 42 gig, 2 gig installed in memory, and then service. I'm curious to see what it says. Nothing about warranty. You know what? I'm going to see what it says about check for my warranty. And you see, I have a VM GUI ID as a virtual machine, me as the serial number. So obviously, that's not going to pass the muster on the Apple website. That's it for this video. You guys can follow me on the CTO Advisor on the web and then at CTO Advisor on the Twitters. Thanks. Talk to you guys next video.